Good morning and welcome to another weekly update. Monday morning. Hope you're feeling well, refreshed after the weekend, ready for a busy week because it is a busy week in the Microsoft Teams world, in the Microsoft Teams development world. A couple of stories to talk through, and then on to the main event. And actually, let's sort of jump straight in with that. So, a couple of things from Commsverse to talk about this week. So, Commsverse is coming up this week. Very excited. It's been coming for a long time now, and I did some. You can kind of check my Twitter because I did an interview actually in August last year with Mark Vail, the founder of Commsverse, when Commsverse 2020 was an online-only event. It was originally supposed to be in person, and then obviously made online only. And then we were talking through what it meant for going to 2021 and trying to hold a in-person event in 2021. And at the time, really none of us knew if that was even going to be a possibility. But yeah, what's obvious from that interview and since then is that lots and lots of work has been put in to make Commsverse a success over a sustained period of time, and also how much buy-in Mark and the event organisers have been able to get from sponsors as well, and kind of believing in them and holding some of that sponsorship money and support right the way through to now, and this in-person event. So we're all very excited for Commsverse. A couple of things I can talk through. So I did a blog post earlier in the week, and I did one of these the week before around just going through choosing session choices. So this is for the second day. And actually, this whole blog post, the video I did was for the second day, and then the blog post is for the 2 days. So you can go to the blog post and you can sort of see my session choices for day 1 and day 2. These are just the things that I was choosing, I thought were interesting. Your list will be different, of course, but it's just it might be useful for just a little bit of insight into how I choose sessions, the things I think about. So yeah, if that sounds like it's interesting and useful, feel free to make the most of it. And then the second thing to tell you about, and I haven't got a video or a picture to show you because it's so new, I've just done a video called Commsverse Know Before You Go. It's got 6 tips in it for everything that, if you are attending in person, that you should need to know. It's things like, where are the tickets, where's the parking, what time does it start, what do I need to bring, what don't I need to bring. So all the useful information in a kind of, here's a 5-minute Know Before You Go video. So if that sounds like a good idea, go over to my YouTube and check that out. There's a blog post as well. I can't show you it on the screen because it's not live yet when I'm recording this, but it will be by the time you watch this. So go to my blog and you'll be able to find that blog post there with the video in it as well. And the tips are on the blog post as well. So we're all ready for Commsverse. I'm heading down there tomorrow. The event starts Wednesday and Thursday. And I'll be covering pretty much as I can, as much as they'll let me cover with a video camera. I'll be covering and talking through and publishing as soon as I can. It's been a really long time since I've done any remote video editing. So what I mean is sitting in a hotel room with just kind of not a big desktop editing machine, just a laptop, just taking video content, trying to edit it on a laptop, and then uploading it over kind of hotel Wi-Fi and all the rest of it. So I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm really hoping I can publish some stuff whilst I'm there, and then you haven't got to wait until kind of Friday and into the weekend before some of that stuff starts to come out, because I think it'd be really nice to be able to enjoy the experience with us, especially the virtual attendees. I think it'd be really nice to get a bit more of a sense of what the what the exhibitor hall looks like, what the meals are like, what the buzzing around the room is, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm really keen to kind of get that out as soon as I can. But I don't know, we'll see. I need to kind of make time for myself and to make sure that I get some networking done and catching up with people, and also make sure I've got sufficient time to prepare for my speaking session so I can do a good job there as well. So there's lots going on, but as much as I can, I will endeavour to bring you as much information as I can. All right, so other interesting and exciting things that have been happening. So the new blog post from the Microsoft Teams developer blog with a new kind of some updates for the Microsoft Graph Toolkit, I guess. So a couple of new things. So there's a new authentication provider, and it's got built-in support for single sign-on, which is great. The old one isn't going anywhere, isn't going away. It's fine as long as MSAL stays, supported. However, they're not going to add any new features, so you should really think about cutting over to this new Teams MSAL 2 provider. So sounds good. It implements the new Auth 2 authorization code flow. It's more secure. It supports single sign-on, like I say, sort of built in. So if you're starting a new project, then you should probably cut to using this immediately. If you're already using the Teams provider, maybe you should check it out, add it into the backlog for something that needs to be added at some point. Yeah, so that's that blog post. You can go check that out. Other things, so this is cool. A blog post I put out in the week that I spotted, and this is around Microsoft Graph and signaling to developers that files that they're accessing or listing might contain malware. So this isn't. This is kind of interesting actually, because I always tend to think of Microsoft Graph as a REST API as a way of viewing data. But what we're seeing more and more is that Graph is layering on intelligence in that as well. And this is one of those areas where that intelligence comes through. So when you're listing files now, or you're getting information about files, this is not downloading the file, this is just listing, doing that kind of get file, get item call, and searching in those get calls. One of the properties that's now going to be returned with other file information, such as file name, size, tags, location, all that sort of stuff. One of these additional properties is going to be whether or not Graph thinks it contains malware. So this is kind of cool. So it's not going to prevent the file from being shown or do anything like that, but it's like a thing that you can use to say, hey, we think this file has got malware in it. Developers can do what they want with that. They can completely ignore it. They can flag it to users. They can choose to block the file and not actually download it, because all this is happening before the file actually gets downloaded. So it's a really nice place to make a decision there on what you want to do. There's very little detail actually around the sort of information that's going to go in here. So it's a description. You can, as a developer, the logic bit, if you like, of do I need to worry about this? There is no Boolean like it's got malware or anything like that. However, there's a string description of the malware itself, and basically if that's not there, then there's no malware. If it is there and if there's anything in it, then Graph thinks there's malware, and then the description gives you a sense of it, exactly what that malware is. So this is really cool. I think this is nice seeing Graph bring some intelligence to the results, as well as just kind of acting as a CRUD machine. So I think this is cool. This is interesting. I'm excited to see the other things that might get added to this and other places this could go. I mean, it'd be really nice to be able to post back a clean file, and just kind of remove all that malware automatically. So we'll see. All right. So, the other thing I should just say, actually, because I put it right at the bottom of the blog post, is it's kind of interesting. There's no way to get a full list across your tenant of just show me the files that Graph thinks contains malware, which might be a really useful search to do. That's not actually something you can do today. This is just augmenting the existing search and get functionality to provide an additional parameter, additional property, into the files that get returned. So just bear in mind, useful for sure, but yeah, just bear that in mind as well. Finally, this is nothing really to do with development, but I just thought it was interesting, and I didn't see it well reported anywhere, so I thought it was worth talking about. What has been super well reported is how Microsoft Teams functionality is coming into PowerPoint, so it'll be possible to take your PowerPoint slides and embed your Teams video into them in a nice way to kind of come up with really sort of compelling content. What is, I think, been less reported is this announcement, which is the ability to take some of the PowerPoint presenter coach stuff and bring it into Microsoft Teams to make you a better participant in meeting, a better speaker basically in meetings. So this is really interesting. So PowerPoint presenter coach has been in PowerPoint for quite a long time. I've used it before. I've recommended it for people who are putting sessions together that they are presenting for conferences and things like that, because it's a good way of making sure you're not speaking too fast, of alerting you to all your crutch words like and and okay and things like that. So it's good for that. What this is that some of that functionality being brought into Microsoft Teams, so that in Microsoft Teams you can kind of give really compelling presentations. So it tells you to do things like, maintain eye contact, keep a consistent distance from your camera, make sure you're not obscured. So kind of really interesting, actually. I think this is kind of nice and kind of neat. And the only thing I don't like about this is the fact that it's not going to be available until early 2022. So it's still kind of a really long way out. And so I don't really know how I feel about these announcements that get made but they're actually like a really, really long way out. I get why it's important to kind of keep people appraised of what's going on and build the hype and all the rest of it. But at the same time, I think, you sort of see this and then you don't see it coming. So, I don't know. It's one of those things just to be aware of. If you thought this was amazing, I mean, I think this is amazing and I can't wait for it, but we are going to have to wait until, at least early 2022. So, all right. I think that's everything for me. This week is going to be really busy. Obviously, Commsverse. I think if you're interested at all in Commsverse, then I've got some content that you will be interested in. If you're attending in person, please come and say hello. If you're attending remotely, then check my YouTube channel, because I'll try and give you a flavour of what the in-person conference is like. If you're not doing either of these things, but you're interested in Commsverse, then just go and check out what it is and then come back, because you should, if you're watching this, you'll be interested in Commsverse, because it's a Microsoft Teams conference. You can attend virtually for free and watch all the sessions on demand as well. Loads and loads of Microsoft Teams content. Super interesting set of speakers as well, including Microsoft folks. So definitely one to check out. All right, good. I'm excited for the week ahead. Really excited, actually. I think it's going to be really good fun. Whatever it is you're doing this week, if you're going to be at Commsverse, then great. Let's have a great conference together. If you're not, then I imagine you have serious FOMO right now. But regardless, have a great week at whatever it is you're doing. And I will speak to you again next time.